Oh my God.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it.
Other people besides white dudes like Star Wars. I'm just saying, we need to be conscious of our bias.
It seems like she kind of holds the fucking future and democracy in her hands right now.
Wait. I thought we were doing a Taylor Swift album ranking.
No.
Yeah. So number 1 is Fearless.
Damn it.
Number 3 is Red. Evermore was a slept-on banger.
You guys see the shit recently, like on Twitter with all of the deep fake porn stuff with her and all that.
Yes.
crap?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see any of it, but thankfully,
No,
but I did
yes.
hear about it. Yes.
I heard about the controversy. Yes.
This is Axios. Conservative media personalities are raging over a new enemy and one-time Biden endorser whose power has never been more undeniable, Taylor Swift. Why it matters. The teams behind the two 2024 presidential frontrunners are zeroing in on a pop megastar with a feverish fan base that actually does heed her calls to go out and vote. So she has proven at least once before that her saying, hey, go vote, she's got a fucking army of young people that will fucking go and vote.
Yeah.
They're like,
Swifties are relentless. Like,
like them and K-pop stands, right? Like they're the
yes.
you can weaponize those groups, then holy shit. And
That's the thing. So I mean, K-pop, you have that's like a whole bunch of artists. So Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but I guess it's like similar to like BTS. Like BTS also has a massive fan base around the world.
Yeah, I would say though, in my opinion, like if you look at artists today, like Taylor Swift is in a very small group of people that are like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, like they're at a level that is like larger than like your average pop star. I would say.
Well, and I don't like. I'm not a fan of her music per se, but I don't think it's terrible or anything. And it's not like I had a girlfriend years ago, for example, who listened to a lot of garbage that I fucking hated, but she liked Taylor Swift, so that was like
I like garbage.
Not not the good band garbage, but Anyway, yeah. So like when she put on Taylor Swift, I'm like, okay, thank God it's not whatever the other crap was. But yeah, so like the fact that she started out as country too, and she kind of was like, all right, this is enough of this bullshit, doing what I want to do now.
Right.
And matter
I can do it all. I'll do pop music if I want. I'll do hip hop music. I'll do whatever I want to do.
I do what I want. So I got respect for her brand and her fucking, her I guess
I mean, there's talent behind it.
Talent, individuality, all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I guess she endorsed Biden in 2020. And yeah, I mean, and things are just kind of so up in the air right now that I'm like, man, we'll take it, if she does it again. But of course,
I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. Did you ever see the clip of her having like an internal struggle about speaking out against conservatives? Did you guys ever see that?
I did.
Oh
not.
yeah.
Okay, there's a clip. Maybe a little
like
more,
one moment of that movie I have seen.
Yeah, so there's a clip. So Bob has seen it. Yeah, she's talking to her management about like being more vocal about like politics and stuff, and they were trying to tell her not to do it because they were afraid it was going to hurt her fan base. And she said, "Fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway." So super big respect to her for that.
Yeah, I mean, well, Taylor Swift has like genuine influence. Like as you DJ said, like her fan base is massive. And she's also now like her net worth is over $1 billion.
Right.
Like, she can influence things. So I understand if like Republicans are like seeing her as some kind of threat.
Well, I mean, look, you got to hear them out, Turf. Because like,
okay,
she's like you said it yourself. She's got a lot of influence. She's
got to give them a chance.
Billions now. Let's hear out.
Give the conservatives a chance.
Let's hear the facts, okay?
All right.
Pop star celebrity sweetheart joins forces with the top dog in the NFL, playing for the team that's going to the Super Bowl. I mean, let's be real here. This is bread and circuses on steroids. Major League Sports, in and of itself, is nothing but a psyop. Get kids plugged into the cycle of going to public indoctrination camps, playing sports for their school, and going to games. Many end up devoting their entire childhood to competing in various sports, only to be cut from the team, at which point they become brainwashed into supporting professional teams because they know their dreams of becoming a pro athlete will probably never happen. So then they become obsessed with some grown man who gets paid millions of dollars every year to throw a ball around while promoting poison.
What is she on about?
What is happening?
I feel dumber now.
I honestly like, is this OAN's typical style of reporting? Just throwing out these random lines?
I had to look and see that this wasn't a fucking like a satire, because just like her appearance and the way she's speaking made me think
things and things and things and things and these things and these things and these things. Like, what the fuck are we doing? This is, who wrote this? I feel like I'm having a seizure.
Not her, I'm guessing, you know?
Yeah. They didn't even give it to her before to practice.
By the way, like, sports in general is massively popular in conservative states. So why are we going so hard against sports programs? That's literally one of their biggest things, is football and fucking baseball and shit. Like what are we doing? What's happening?
It's really weird for them to take that angle at it, right? Like I mean, it's actually far worse, Anchorman.
OAN is like, Fox News is bubblegum compared to OAN and Newsmax and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
although it does seem like they will follow a lot of what Fox News does. Maybe not OAN, but like a lot of the conservative networks.
You know, I'm not to like give them any kind of credit or whatever, but ever since the lawsuits, Fox has kind of backed off from their more extreme shit. So now it's kind of trickled into this space, like Blaze and OAN and Newsmax and shit like that.
Yeah, so they're like, you know, they're fucking throwing sports under the bus. It's like they might be so desperate by the time the election comes around that they're literally like, just like, Jesus is a psyop, you know, like they're just Christianity is bullshit.
There was a period like earlier in 2023 where they were trying to say the Bible was wrong about like how you treat people in need and stuff like that. So there has been a moment where they sort of tried to do that.
Yeah, they're trying to retcon the Bible. That's pretty fun. Oh man. But I mean, it just goes to show that like they are trying, you know, she's, I guess, on obviously on the more extreme end of things, taking that tact with it. But like in general, from what I read, the Trump administration and then other, you know, GOP folks, they're actually trying to you know, appeal to her. Like, so they at least the establishment people, they haven't establishment GOP, or they haven't turned on her in, like, they still think there's hope that they can like get her to endorse Trump or something. Crazy.
I don't think so.
No.
Or maybe they just are cynically doing it because you know, it gets into the algorithm, and like that's what I suspect the fucking porn thing was about in the first place. Before it, you know, of course, took off on its own. But like, they literally blocked her name from being searched on Twitter for a few days.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Taylor Swift had that, like, you know, she started in country. You know, she didn't have very revealing music videos, you know, like a lot of other big pop stars and stuff. So I think she had an image where a lot of people thought, oh yeah, she's like us, you know, she respects the good old American values, you know, and like she's gonna support the Republicans and Trump and stuff. And then she didn't, and like goes against her own management. She talks out against issues she disagrees with, and like gets young people to vote who are most likely gonna vote for Biden and stuff. And it's just kind of turning on their head, and it's like maybe they feel like they've lost one of their own who was never actually one of theirs.
That's exactly what an article I read is that basically she started out country and she was kind of like a conservative darling and stuff, and then she got a mind of her own, and they're like, whoa.
We've not got involved with politics or religion.
Yeah, but this is on the home front. And also, back in the presidential election, I was in such a horrendous place that I wasn't going to pop my head out of the sand for anything.
Would you? I mean, does Bob Hope do it? Does Bing Crosby do it? Does Mick Jagger do it?
Come on.
No, what I'm saying right now is
Bob Hope and
first
Dave
of all,
Crosby.
These aren't your dad's celebrities, and these aren't your dad's Republicans.
There we go. That's the part I love. So her reasoning for doing this is that Bob Hope and Bing Crosby were not dealing with the same kind of people that we're dealing with today.
Yeah.
And this is a really good clip. It's 9 minutes long. It's a lot to unpack, but basically she's very passionate through the whole thing. And she's like very stern in that she's not going to be resorting to, you know, supporting Republican people just because her fan base might be conservative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, clearly it's done. It's not done poorly for her. If it did cut any, you know, segment of audience out, then it probably won her a lot more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like, you know, and that she's speaking to this thing that like the conservatives have been still doing this shit with Trump and MAGA and stuff. Like Ethan Van Sciver does it, where it's like, oh, I'm just a conservative. We're just conservatives. Like, no, man, you're glossing over the fact that just a conservative now is not what it meant even just 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah.
There was a time when you could be a conservative and you didn't necessarily have to be a Christian. There was a period of time where that was the case. Now, in order to be a conservative, you kind of are expected to be a Christian as well.
There used to be the freaking what was it, the Log Cabin Republic? I'm sure they still exist, but like I don't think they have any kind of fucking voice.
They do exist, but it's very like we have a few of them that I know locally that still kind of try to do it. But the thing is, they're seeing that if you go to like these events and stuff, their voices they're not heard. People don't want to hear from them. So
what did it mean to 15 years ago? It meant, fucking a lot of jingoism for sure, like mega patriotism, rah, fucking, go to war with anybody that looks at us funny kind of shit. But I mean, it wasn't like openly against democracy. It wasn't if George W. Bush had been fucking found guilty for sexual assault in a civil trial, I'm pretty sure that the GOP would have fucking dropped him. Like things like that. But they wouldn't. Yeah, they weren't in such a weak place politically,
right?
Like the Republican Party is now. Culture that they will just, because Trump is the guy that demands this fucking army of mindless goons, that's the guy they're gonna attach their shit to.
I want to say this also, that there was a true period in time where you could actually just be politically oppositions to each other and still work together with people and have a conversation with people. Like I've said this before, and anecdotally with my family, the last 5 or 6 years has it's reached a point where we can't even talk to each other because of this.
Well, because they
really,
we aren't even operating on the same in the same reality anymore. That's what this media has created on the right is and sure, there's people on the left too that believe stupid shit. I'm not going to say that that's not the case, but like on the right, the media sphere is almost entirely detached from reality at any given moment.
I don't see a hotbed of progressive outlets that actively lie about news. I just don't see it. It doesn't happen. No. Like if anything, these outlets are so honest that they get their information gets taken into the conservative space and then regurgitated out of context. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of what happens because the reality is I can't think of any progressive outlets off the top of my head that just make stuff up. I can't think of any of them. Is there anything that we can think of? Like I'll call them out if there is, but I can't think of any. Are there any that do like what OAN does?
I mean,
no, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, so like okay,
not anything nearly as big as any of them.
The farthest as far as like that has any real reach would be like I haven't watched it in years, but I remember during the Trump administration, MSNBC got kind of far off its rocker. Rachel Maddow did some fucking cringy shit with like, she was kind of doing like the Alex Jones vibes almost.
She was, They're like she's one of those that I feel like didn't really settle well with a lot of progressives.
They were like everything was a bombshell. Everything was like this is what's gonna fucking take him out. You know what I mean? And it's like okay, ease up.
So that's one person. I mean, is there a complete organization that utilizes fake news the way a lot of these conservative outlets do? Okay, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like if that were really what was happening, I'd say okay, But the conservative space that do these like fake news stories, and it's not all of them. I'm not doing this a broad brush, but the vast majority of the polarizing ones just take out of context stuff and then lie about it.
Yeah,
that's it.
So like I really only like started like paying attention to American politics like during like the whole Trump era and stuff. But I remember seeing this clip from back when I think John McCain lost to Obama, and then afterwards he was doing like some kind of like a I don't know if it's like a specific thing they do afterwards. But
you're talking about the he's a Muslim thing?
Yeah, exactly. Where there's like someone in the audience who like asks him a question and be like she doesn't trust Obama because like he's a Muslim or something, and then he takes the microphone away and he's like no.
Look, I didn't agree with a lot of John McCain's politics, but he got to the point where he was too real for what the Republican Party was trying to do at that point, and they weren't going to support that kind of because he wasn't going to like go to that level. You know what I mean? Like he was one of the few like I truly believe that John McCain might have been the last of the like more I don't know, unradicalized conservatives that were running for office. Like it feels like it's all radicalization now.
So it was still happening at that point.
Yeah, I would say so. Because the Tea Party was kind of a thing back then, but that kind of turned into what we have now with QAnon. So
yeah. All right, but I just remember like seeing that clip, and I was like I could not imagine like Trump or any other Republican candidate just like openly like respecting.
We're talking about the media, Chris Bacon. So why would we talk about the people that we interact with on a daily basis or our daily life?
I mean, but I kind of just addressed that. I said that I can't even talk to half my family now. I mean, like that's the reality of it. Is
I do not.
Yeah. Sorry. No. I mean, I'm saying like I was answering his question. Like he mentioned we're taking it just from the media, and I'm not. Like I actually have like and I think you've mentioned it too, Dane.
Yeah, don't talk to my dad anymore, Chris Bacon, because of this shit. Because these are the people that consume that media, and presumably you don't. I guess I don't know, man. I don't know what your deal is, where you're like able to have a functional conversation like a regular person, but I know you're kind of conservative or whatever, but like, yeah, there's a lot of people that are they're far down the rabbit hole, and they just keep digging.
Chris Bacon is very straightforward and doesn't seem like he's into that whole spreading misinformation stuff, and that's again that I can respect people in the political spectrum that are that way. What I don't like is if you watch these clips from TikTok and stuff where people believe, like I saw a clip earlier today where somebody was claiming that the weather was being controlled by Biden and that he was making it snow in places and all this other shit. Like that's just that level of stupidity and ignorance and just like tinfoil hat shit. Like you cannot have conversations with people like that about actual legitimate things that are happening because they believe the earth is flat. It's just dumb shit.
Well, I mean, so look, just to address this real quick, yes, I do. However, that's neither nor that. But Chris Bacon, you are an example. You yourself, the reason you're here, the reason we know who you are at all, is because you are someone who still is insists on and fucking salute to you for this. You insist on going by the facts, what you can see, what you can account for. You know what I mean? Logic. You know what I mean? Facts. And then you're trying to give those to people in a community, the Rippaverse, who they do not care about fucking facts, especially when it comes to this guy that they've attached their fucking, I guess identity belief system to or whatever. And you saw the consequence. You lived the consequences of that. You're just trying to. These are the numbers right here. Look, just cold hard numbers, and they're like, "No, you're a fucking, you're
a detractor. Yeah, you're a detractor. You're a hater." Like, yeah. So yeah, no, it's true. And I'm getting back to the Taylor Swift stuff, though. I don't think there's any reality where they're going to be able to sway her to tell her people to go vote for Donald Trump. Not going to happen.
Whoa, what's that? Oh, that's a shit. Why don't you go and subscribe to it? I dare you. I fucking dare you.
Got it.